In October 2019, Erin Valenti set out on a business trip from Utah to California. The trip was supposed to be a short one, just 3 days of workshops and tech conferences with other leading business people in her industry. She's a young CEO of Tinker Ventures, a company that is working on a brain-machine interface technology that deals with machine learning and neuroscience. But something happened during her stay that would change her life forever. She phoned her parents stating, "It's all a game, it's a tough experiment, we are in the matrix." A few days later, she is found deceased. What happened to Erin Valenti? She was the epitome of ambition and drive, a force of nature in her own right. Born and raised in Fairpoint, New York, Erin Valenti was a firebrand who never shied away from a challenge. Her sharp mind and boundless energy made her the talk of the town, and her relentless pursuit of greatness was an inspiration to those who knew her. Erin was a graduate of Georgetown University, where she honed her business acumen and studied the Chinese language, culture, and business practices. But her passions extended far beyond the world of commerce. She was a fierce advocate against human trafficking and a volunteer for the nonprofit organization Not for Sale, a group dedicated to fighting against modern-day slavery. Her husband, Harrison Winston, was a psychologist who described Erin as being completely normal, with no history of mental illness, substance abuse, or arrest. Together, the couple relocated to Salt Lake City, Utah, where Erin founded Tinker Ventures, a web development company that would soon employ over 120 people. Her business savvy was unmatched, and she built a remote team of engineers from Pakistan that helped propel her company to new heights. In 2019, Erin set her sights on the tech capital of the world, planning a business trip to Orange County, California for a professional development workshop, followed by a visit to Silicon Valley to see old friends and former colleagues. Her last post on Facebook was full of excitement, and she couldn't wait to get home and start something new. But the trip would take a dark turn. A series of strange phone calls to her husband and mother left them both bewildered and concerned. Erin's words were fast and erratic, and her speech was out of character. She spoke of a game, a thought experiment, and being trapped in the matrix. Her husband and mother took turns talking to her on the phone until midnight, but after that, their calls went straight to voicemail. They would never hear from her again. Later that night, Erin missed her flight from Palo Alto to the airport to Utah. She was last seen at the intersection of Almaden Expressway and Camden Avenue, dressed in a simple white t-shirt and ripped blue jeans. But little did anyone know, this was the last time anyone would ever lay eyes on her. 5 days after her disappearance, the San Jose Police Department received a call from Erin's family. They reported her missing and gave details about her rental vehicle, hoping it would help in the search for their beloved daughter and sister. The police managed to speak with Erin over the phone that night, but her communications were strange and bizarre. Verizon Wireless was contacted, and it was revealed that Erin's last known location was on Manilo Drive, north of the Almaden Expressway. Her phone had pinged a few times in the streets further north before finally shutting off. The police searched the area and nearby hospitals for several hours, but to no avail. Erin's rental vehicle did not have a tracking device, and attempts to locate her phone using apps such as Find My were unsuccessful. Despite the clear danger Erin was in, the police did not file an official missing persons case until 3 days after her disappearance. They believed that she was an adult who had voluntarily disappeared, perhaps due to an abusive partner or a difficult home life. However, given Erin's position as a CEO of a successful web development company and the fact that she was set to receive an award for entrepreneurial excellence in just 2 days, it seemed unlikely that she would choose to leave. When the police finally did file her disappearance, they described her as a voluntarily missing and did not actively search for her. But the truth was, Erin was never seen or heard from again. Frustrated with the lack of effort from the police department, Erin's family took matters into their own hands and created a Facebook page called Help Find Erin Valenti. The page caught the attention of locals from the Bay Area who rallied together to search for the missing CEO. Families drove around the city, while others utilized drones in the hopes of finding her. But despite all their efforts, Erin remained missing. That is, until a volunteer from the Facebook page stumbled upon her gray SUV parked on a residential street in a quiet neighborhood half a mile away from her last known position. When the volunteer looked inside, they found Erin's lifeless body in the backseat of the vehicle. The police department launched an investigation and found no evidence of foul play. Blood tests determined that there were no drugs or substance in her system. Officials were not able to determine the exact time of death or how long Erin was in her car before she was found. But it was later determined that her vehicle had been parked on that street for 5 days. This realization left residents of the quiet neighborhood struggling to understand what could have happened. They were a tight-knit community and couldn't comprehend how they had missed such a tragedy happening right in front of their own eyes. One resident stated, "It's really strange, bizarre, foggy to me because this kind of stuff just doesn't usually go down in Almaden." Erin's father, Joseph Valenti, believed that the police department had completely mishandled her daughter's case and wished that they had acted more aggressively. The exact events of the week Erin went missing remain a mystery, but it's widely believed that the police did not do enough to find her. The world we live in is just a simulated reality created by some sort of super intelligent beings or computers. It is a concept that has been explored in countless books, movies, and TV shows. But what if it's not just a figment of our imagination? What if it's actually real? Erin was a successful entrepreneur and a former employee of Overstock.com, a company that was rocketed by a scandal just a few months before her disappearance. She participated in a workshop called Create Powerful, hosted by Entrepreneur, which promised to help entrepreneurs with personal and professional growth for their businesses. The cost was steep, and the seminar took place over several days with a group of people. This has led some online sleuths to accuse the workshop of being an LGT, or Large Group Awareness Training. These self-help seminars incorporate psychological and somewhat cult-like practices, and some have expressed fear that the techniques used in LGTs can be harmful. There's also speculation that Erin's disappearance might be linked to the Overstock scandal, as she did used to work at the company and had meet up with old colleagues. However, this seems to be a whole other conspiracy on its own. Another theory is that an eco-terrorist group known as ITS, or the Individualist Trending Toward the Wild, might be responsible for her death, as well as that of another tech CEO, Ishtar's Atri. This claim, however, has not been verified, and there's no evidence to suggest their involvement. One of the most intriguing aspects of this case is Erin's last comments before her disappearance. She exclaimed to her mother, "It's all a game, it's a thought experiment, we're in the Matrix." This might sound like a bizarre thing for someone to say right before the suspicious death, but it might actually be explainable. If the Matrix is a real concept and not just a philosophical idea, then Erin might have stumbled upon the truth, and her comments might have been a warning to those around her. The idea of the Matrix, a simulated reality created by an advanced race of artificial intelligence, has captivated the imagination of people for decades. In the 1999 movie The Matrix, the protagonist Neo learns that his entire life was just a virtual experience fed to his brain by the machines. What if this concept is not just a figment of our imagination? What if it's actually real? Some people believe that at some point in the future, human consciousness will become so advanced that we can copy it, leading us to create a simulation of our own world. Given the rapid advancement of technology in recent decades and the increasing integration of AI in our daily lives, this possibility is not entirely unlikely. And if that's the case, who's to say that we're not already living in a simulation? Elon Musk has also weighed in on this idea, stating that if you assume any rate of improvement in technology, that the gains will become indistinguishable from reality. The odds of us being in a base reality could be 1 in billions. This is just a theory based on assumptions, but the development of technology that can read our movements and replicate them in a simulation is already underway. Erin, a successful entrepreneur and the founder of Tinko Ventures, was known for endorsing the advent of brain-machine interface technology, particularly from the company Control Lab, founded by Thomas Reardon of Microsoft fame. In her last words to her family, "It's all a game, it's a thought experiment, we're in the Matrix," has only added fuel to the fire of this conspiracy theory. Unfortunately, the mystery surrounding Erin's death only deepened as to no new details were discovered for months, leaving her case open for speculation. In February 2020, the cause of her passing was finally uncovered after a series of investigation and autopsy reports. The findings were a shock to many, as the cause of death was to a natural cause, following an acute manic episode. However, the exact cause of her death remains shrouded in mystery. Despite her husband's claims that Erin had no prior mental or drug-related issues, the truth was far more complicated. Erin suffered from a thyroid condition that was later treated with medication. But it is possible that her death was a result of this previous condition that she thought was under control. Unfortunately, the blood samples taken during the investigation were not satisfactory for an analysis. An investigation into Erin's last electronic communication revealed symptoms of a manic episode. The San Jose Medical Examiner Office eventually concluded that Erin's death was due to an undiagnosed psychiatric disorder, bipolar disorder. This condition is characterized by extreme mood swings with periods of high energy and low energy, and is often misdiagnosed or undiagnosed. According to Dr. Pu Wang, a psychiatrist from Stanford University, bipolar disorder is a common condition that is frequently undiagnosed, and it often leads to depression and irritability. In Erin's case, it is possible that she experienced a manic episode after visiting friends in Silicon Valley, causing her to call her parents and frantically talk about life as a thought experiment or the Matrix. This conversation was followed by a wave of depression, and she eventually died shortly after parking her vehicle in a San Jose neighborhood. The link between entrepreneurship and mental health disorders is a topic of much debate. A 2015 study conducted at the University of California, San Francisco surveyed 242 entrepreneurs and found that 49% of them reporting having at least one mental health condition, compared to just 7% of the US population. The entrepreneurs were more likely to report depression, ADHD, substance abuse, bipolar disorder, and anxiety. Another example is Aaron Swartz, a visionary entrepreneur and a fierce internet activist. Had his name etched in the annals of history as a co-founder of the trailblazing platform Reddit. But beneath the glamour of his achievements laid a tormented soul who chronicled his inner demons in his personal blog. As he battled the debilitating monster of depression, fate dealt a cruel blow. He was arrested and the way of the world seemed to crush him. In a final act of desperation, he took his own life, leaving behind a legacy that still sparks heated debates and evokes strong emotions. The haunting tale of Aaron Swartz serves as a grim reminder of the silent epidemic that plagues our society, and how it can claim the brightest of our minds. And as the echoes of his tragedy continue to reverberate, one can help but wonder if Erin too fell prey to the same fate. The circumstances surrounding her death remain shrouded in mystery, with the autopsy report offering only inconclusive findings. Her family, however, refuses to accept that she would take her own life, and instead they chose to remember her as a vibrant, determined woman that she was. The Erin Valenti Woman in Entrepreneurship Scholarship was created in her memory, with the goal of raising $100,000 for female entrepreneurs at the University of Utah. The scholarship is a fitting tribute to Erin's legacy, as she always believed that more women should be encouraged to pursue their dreams and unleash their full potential in the world of business. The memory of Erin Valenti will live on through the countless lives she touched and the countless dreams she inspired. As her mother Agnes has said, we may never find an answer,